The 49-Day Journey After Death, Unveiling the Truth of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Introduction. Death is something that everyone must face, yet it remains one of the greatest mysteries of human existence. We may fear it, try to avoid thinking about it, or place our faith in various religious teachings that promise salvation or answers. But what if death is not the end? What if instead it is a transition? An opportunity to transcend the endless cycle of birth and rebirth. The Tibetan Book of the Dead offers a radically different perspective on the nature of death. This ancient text, passed down through centuries, describes the journey of the soul after death, beginning from the moment of passing and extending over the course of 49 days. It reveals a process of self-discovery and transformation, one that can either lead to liberation or trap the soul in the cycle of reincarnation. In this article, we will explore the first 49 days after death, delve into the teachings of the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and offer practical advice on how to prepare for this inevitable transition. The 49-Day Journey, a Test of the Soul. The Tibetan Book of the Dead provides a roadmap for the soul's journey after death, outlining the spiritual terrain between life and the next rebirth. This journey is not automatic or predetermined. It is a process that demands awareness and consciousness. The first 49 days are crucial, as they are filled with challenges and tests that determine whether the soul will transcend the cycle of samsara, birth, death, and rebirth, or remain trapped within it. The moment of death, the beginning of the journey. When a person dies, the Tibetan Book of the Dead teaches that their consciousness does not simply cease to exist. Instead, the soul leaves the body and enters the Bardo, a transitional state between life and the next existence. The first moments in the Bardo are critical, as they offer the opportunity for ultimate liberation or ultimate confusion, depending on the soul's awareness. In this state, the soul is confronted with powerful experiences, many of which are projections of the mind. These illusions are not external. They arise from the unresolved fears, desires, and attachments that the soul carried during its lifetime. The key to navigating these illusions is awareness. If the soul is able to recognize the truth of what it is experiencing without fear or attachment, it can transcend the cycle of rebirth. The clear light of reality, the first 3 days. According to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the first 3 days after death are the most important. The soul encounters an overwhelming, radiant light known as the clear light of reality. This light is not something that can be seen with the eyes. It is a deeper, more profound awareness that transcends all perception. It is said that if the soul recognizes and surrenders to this light, it will merge with it and attain instant enlightenment, escaping the cycle of reincarnation forever. However, most souls fail to recognize the clear light. The reason for this failure lies in fear. The fear of the unknown is so powerful that it causes the soul to recoil from the light, leading it into confusion and illusion. As a result, instead of merging with the light, the soul is pulled deeper into the Bardo, where it must face further challenges. The illusions of the Bardo, days 3 to 7. As the soul moves further into the Bardo, it begins to encounter powerful illusions. These illusions are not random or arbitrary. They are created by the mind itself, shaped by the soul's past experiences, unresolved emotions, and attachments. The soul may see familiar faces, religious figures, or images of places it once knew, things that seem comforting or familiar but are ultimately not real. The Tibetan Book of the Dead teaches that these illusions are not punishments, but tests. The soul is being tested to see if it can recognize the truth of its own consciousness, rather than clinging to the past. Most souls fail this test, becoming so absorbed in the illusions that they become trapped in the cycle of rebirth. The key to passing this test lies in recognizing the illusions for what they are, projections of the mind that hold no true power. The Bardo's Mirror, Confronting the Past, days 7 to 14. The Tibetan Book of the Dead describes the Bardo as a mirror, a place where the soul must confront itself. This is the stage where the soul undergoes a life review, a process in which it relives its past actions, experiences, and decisions. The soul does not face judgment from an external force. Instead, it is confronted with the consequences of its own choices. This is a profound moment of self-reflection where the soul must confront its regrets, guilt, and attachments. The Ultimate Choice, Liberation or Rebirth, days 14 to 49. In the final phase of the Bardo, the soul faces its ultimate challenge, the choice between liberation and rebirth. After experiencing a series of illusions and self-reflection, the soul must decide whether it will transcend the cycle of reincarnation or fall back into it. This choice is not always clear, and many souls are overwhelmed by the illusions they encounter. However, the Tibetan Book of the Dead emphasizes that awareness is the key to making the right decision. The role of awareness and detachment. One of the central teachings of the Tibetan Book of the Dead is that the key to liberation lies in awareness. If the soul is unprepared, if it has not cultivated mindfulness and detachment during its lifetime, it will be overwhelmed by the illusions and attachments it faces in the afterlife. However, if the soul has practiced awareness and detachment, it will be able to recognize the truth of its experiences and navigate the Bardo with clarity and ease. Living with awareness. Living with awareness means being present in the moment, free from attachment and distraction. It involves recognizing the impermanence of all things and cultivating a deep understanding of the nature of reality. Through practices like meditation and self-inquiry, we can develop the skills necessary to navigate the Bardo with clarity. Why most people fail the test. The Tibetan Book of the Dead teaches that most people fail to transcend the cycle of reincarnation, not because they are weak, but because they are unprepared. Society has conditioned us to fear death, chase after material possessions, and become attached to fleeting pleasures. As a result, when death comes, we are unprepared to face the truth of our own consciousness. The key to overcoming this fear is to live with awareness and detachment. The more we practice these principles in our daily lives, the more prepared we will be when the time comes to face death. Practical steps for preparing for death. While the Tibetan Book of the Dead offers profound wisdom for preparing for death, these teachings are not limited to the moment of death itself. They are equally applicable to how we live our lives today. Here are a few practical steps to help you prepare for both life and death. Practice meditation. Meditation helps you become aware of your thoughts, emotions, and attachments. By meditating regularly, you can develop the clarity necessary to navigate the illusions of the Bardo. Cultivate detachment. Learn to let go of your attachments to possessions, status, and relationships. This does not mean rejecting life, but understanding that nothing in this world is permanent. Reflect on your life. Take time to reflect on your actions, choices, and desires. Are you living in alignment with your highest values? Are you chasing temporary pleasures? Or are you cultivating inner peace and wisdom? Embrace the impermanence of life. Recognize that everything in life is temporary. When you embrace this truth, you will stop fearing death and will be able to live more fully in the present moment. Conclusion. Embrace the journey with awareness. The Tibetan Book of the Dead offers us a profound perspective on death and the afterlife. It teaches that death is not an end, but a transition, an opportunity for the soul to transcend the cycle of reincarnation. By living with awareness, detachment, and compassion, we can prepare ourselves for the journey that lies beyond death. The lessons of the Tibetan Book of the Dead are not just for those who are preparing for death, but for those who are preparing to live. By cultivating mindfulness and detachment in our daily lives, we can transcend the illusions of the material world and live with greater clarity, peace, and purpose. Lessons for life. To live a meaningful life and prepare the mind for the transition after death, we need to apply the profound teachings of Buddhism to every moment of our lives. Below are practical tips to help you begin this journey starting today. 1. Practice meditation and mindfulness starting today. Meditation helps us calm the mind, clearly recognize our thoughts and emotions, and thus enables us to live more mindfully in every moment. Mindfulness is not just a practice, but a way of life, a lifestyle that each person can apply in their work, relationships, and all situations in life. 2. Cultivate detachment from material possessions and fleeting pleasures. In modern life, we are easily drawn into seeking temporary pleasures from material things and fleeting relationships. However, Buddhism teaches us that everything is impermanent, and it is only by letting go of attachment to these things that our hearts can truly be free and at peace. 3. Reflect on your life choices and align them with the highest values. Ask yourself every day, Am I living according to the deep values that I believe in? Do my actions and decisions truly reflect the understanding and compassion that Buddhist teachings advocate? 4. Accept the impermanence of life and stop fearing death. Death is an inevitable part of life, and accepting death means accepting the impermanence of all things. When we stop fearing death, we find true freedom in how we live, in cherishing each present moment, and no longer clinging to material existence. As we come to the end of this profound journey through the Tibetan Book of the Dead, we've learned that death is not an end, but a transition, a test of the soul's awareness, its attachments, and its ability to navigate the Bardo. The 49 days after death are pivotal, offering a rare opportunity for liberation or a return to the cycle of reincarnation, depending on how we face the illusions and challenges that arise. The teachings of the Tibetan Book of the Dead remind us that awareness and detachment are essential not only at the moment of death, but throughout our lives. By cultivating mindfulness, understanding the impermanence of life, and reflecting on our actions, we can prepare ourselves to face life's greatest transition with clarity, peace, and spiritual growth. This wisdom is not just for the afterlife, but for living a meaningful, conscious life in the present. As we continue our journey through life, let's remember that every moment is an opportunity to awaken to deeper truths, to let go of attachments, and to live with the awareness that leads to true freedom. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of life, death, and the ultimate journey of the soul. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Awaken Light for more spiritual insights and wisdom. Until next time, may you walk your path with awareness and peace. Let us know in the comments, a call to action. Call to action. If you found this video insightful, please share it with others who may benefit from it. Let us know in the comments how you're planning to live more consciously and prepare for life's inevitable transition. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Awaken Light for more content like this. Stay awakened and keep exploring the light within.